So I have the audiobook for His Needs and Her Needs by what's his face and what's his name. And I was having a me myself and I conversation about how I was feeling about these things. So I'm rereading it again, rereading it. It's audible, but beside the point. So I'm rereading it again. Put this earphones back in because it feels better when I can't hear anything. I was rereading it, and it was getting to a point about physical affection, and I've been told I'm not very affectionate, right? So I have a girlfriend, then I have like a female mentor person. Yeah, that's what they are, a female mentor person. So, and she asked me, "Hey, are you affectionate?" Hold on, let me go. Hold up, it's peaking because of the high vis jacket I'm wearing. Let's just, for some reason, when you roll it down, it doesn't want to. Can you lock, please? Thank you. Can we not be so? Thank you. I appreciate it not being so bright. Thank you. So as a customer and or consumer. So back to it. I was thinking about how my affection and my affection, yada, all those things. So I kind of got this conclusion using me and my girlfriend. So I think I'm affectionate. I'm probably not that much affectionate in the way that she wants me to be. I think affection is like, okay, let's back up. So let's say I'm not affectionate, and let's run through the scenario that I think I'm kind of not. So my thoughts were, there it is. I was thinking about her affection. I was thinking about how when she, to me, it feels like girls want affection out of a place of personal insecurity and a lack of self-assurance. And then I'm like, that's exactly right. And I was like, well, I don't have those things. And I was like, why don't you have those desires? I'm like, one, because my youth was spent self-soothing with my mental acuity and porn. Like, that was how I managed stress and anxiety and emotions, was like, either I'm going to think my way out of this box, or I'm going to beat my dick. Those were the options I chose, and we're still dealing with those consequences to this day, struggling as we go through it. Amen. So that's part of it. And then I was thinking about her, and for her, her thing was she ate her feelings. So for me, let's go. So to her, she ate her feelings. Mine was mental acuity and porn. Like, right, that's, I used to use my mind to get out of a scenario, or when I got emotional, I would beat my dick, or play video games, or isolate. One of those things. I'd either leave to go into my own mind, or try and not be a part of anything at all. So with that, I realized that I became my own self-soother. Right, the place that was the placeholder for someone to be a comforter and an affectionate person, I filled with myself and my ability and my own resources, and it worked. Like, the porn sucks, but the mental acuity is pretty fire. But for her, her thing was she ate her feelings and felt it and filled it that way, and but she never filled the space for the comfort, right? It was a momentary thing to eat or do other things to fill her comfort. But I made sure, like, I intentionally made it so that I wouldn't want or need anyone in that space for comfort. Right? I did everything I could to, like, deny my desire for a person to fill this space for me, right? But for her, though she filled it incorrectly, she always desired a person to fill this affectionate comfort space, right? I didn't. So for me, it's kind of having to gather around, like, okay, I should really fix those things, but also, yes, the reason why it's got dark and creepy in here because there's the clouds, is what it is. So, but I'm gonna burp. Okay, all right. So, I don't know, man. Just very interesting on the idea that, yeah, like I filled my own space of comfort with me. Like I was my comfort person. When I feel stressed, I go inside my own mind because that's always been its safest location. Because affection or touch is so rarely a thing I can get in a comforting perspective that it is so rare that I get it. It's hard to to desire something you don't know even exists, right? So it isn't often in which touch is is comfort to me, right? It's not that I'm like averse to physical affection. Like I don't like hate being touched or hate being hugged. Like I have no problem hugging people or being jovial. I like it. Like in high school, I used to, in my opinion, be a bit too physical affection, be a bit too physically affectionate, right? Not to a point where I thought I was being like malevolent or creepy or weird. I did my best, and I did all I could to not make people feel weird. Um, but like I was much more affectionate. I was so back on point. So even for the women, it's been women. It's not really men. Who have desired physical affection from. It's often like older female friends who I view as like older sisters or people of that ilk, like non-blood related, we often older female figures that have even been able to do these things for me. And for me, it's always been weird to be like, hey, person who's friendly that I'm with, who I'm also chill with, who's cool with me, yada yada. Can I get head pats and hugs, right, so that I can feel better? That feels weird to ask for when my life hasn't been built around that, nor do I know them to an extent in which I feel like they would be okay with doing that for me. Maybe it's that because at my first job, I got close, not really close, but we were chill. Me and this older girl who worked there, we were chill. I liked her a lot. She was a really fun person. But there was a moment it hurt. It hurt my feelings. I felt sad. She was married, and I was always like, what is it like to be married? How is your husband? Or like, what is it like for these things to happen? I just wanted to know what it was like for her. And so, one day, she was gonna bring in food. And I was like, cool. I want food. That sounds awesome. And she brought food in for the women and not me. And she told me it was because cooking for her is something she'll only do for her man or women. Like for her, it's almost a romantic thing, where she'll only do that thing for her man. And it got me sad because I was like 19 and she was like 30. And damn, that's so long ago. Whatever. It got me sad because I'm like, one, I never saw you this way. Two, I'm no longer a kid. Like, I'm no longer perceived as. What you doing over there? I'm no longer perceived as someone. I'm not perceived as a sexual competitor with your husband. I've never seen you that way. I don't view you in that light. But you made the distinction that you were old enough where the sexual tension, the sexual distinction, the idea of us being together, not that it's a thing that could ever happen, but that there's a limitation to how you act with me because I am now past the point where I'm a child. Not even like now the first time someone treated me differently because of my age in a way that was, how do I explain this? It sucked. it sucked being seen by someone you saw as a friend, and them making the distinction that we're cool, but you're still a guy, and I have to ostracize you from me because you're now at a point in your life where you might desire me, like in a serious platform. Like, she was my type. I don't like her that way. I didn't see her that way. But the distinction was still there. So that kind of sucked. But on topic of physical affection, right? Me being my own self-soother, me not really knowing or really asking for the affection of the woman I've trusted, because it felt weird to ask older female coworkers or older friends in high school to like give me this affection I desired, even though I didn't even know what I wanted. It was like, I like a hug. It was so distant. I still don't gather often when I want it. It's just weird. So I do want physical affection, but it's quelled by this distance from women. That's probably why I said that. It's like, because I'm older, I can't ask women to be affectionate with me because now I'm seen as a prospect. And so yeah, there's no great way to teach me to be affectionate when I haven't been shown it. I have intentionally tried to destroy that place for someone else to be in. And my own desire, I have filled my own space with myself. And when I feel like I could want another to fill that space, they either are unable to or are someone that wouldn't like me to act upon them in a way to receive physical affection. Even if I've never looked at you that way in my life, I don't see you that way, I don't like you that way, you are my type. But I'm cool, and I like you as a friend and a person, and I see you as like an older sister to me, because of our age different, which is its own different thing. But that, to me, are my feelings, you know? So, solutions that I have probably are, I think first you have to accept whatever problem you have, whatever insufficient thing you have in you, you must accept that is something you have, and if they go, okay, the best I can do here is be willing to be open when the moment arises, right? But also be vigilant and alert for people who could fill these roles. Like, again, back to the top, I have my female mentor person, who's older and married, but she's past the point where she would ever conceive me of the thought as she is to me and I'm to her. And her husband, that man is secure as I could see secure. I think he's fine. It's just weird, man. It isn't something I've been accustomed to. That's a pretty wet roll. There's a wet roll over there. It's so pretty. Nice and chunky. Nice and chunky! Chunky boy. So, it is something I will be working on, but it's still weird, man. Like, me and her are cool, but it isn't the same relationship I've had with other older female persons. I gotta say that because they're often older sister figures. Most of them have been older sister figures. They've been like 10, like 5 to 10 years older. She's like as old as my mom, so that's like a 20-ish year gap, 20+ year gap. So it's different, right? Because with older sisterly figures, it's always a friendship that forms first, and then this desire for comfort that I can't ask for. But for her, it's a different relationship. It feels a bit weird because the relationship feels one-sided, and that portion of it makes me feel uncomfortable because it is one-sided in my favor. So our relationship is often one based off of me going to her with problems, or me talking to her, or me having her insight. It's often me going to her to gain something, and it's weird because I'm not used to relationships with someone where I am the one who takes a lot. And so it, for me, creates distance from this person in like a physical, affectionate person desire. Because like there's a level of distance because I want this to be a back and forth and a personable thing. It just feels distant and weird to me. But hey, you will, I guess, learn and figure out and change. Tis the goals, guys. Tis the goals. Yeah. Well, have a blessed day. Hope you well.